features for our children, starting with their very own neurological makeup, music. Unfortunately, millions of students are not getting adequate access to music education, despite the fact that scientific research has shown that learning to play an instrument can make the brain work more efficiently and highly benefits the development of almost every part of the brain. To give you an idea of what I'm talking about, I would like to show you a comparison of two brain scans. This is your brain. This is your brain on music. So let's get into what all of these colorful little blobs actually mean. When playing an instrument, almost all parts of the brain are at work and being exercised. The motor cortex controls gross and fine motor movements. This can be large movements that require the entire limb, or fine precise movements using small muscles. The frontal lobe also helps to control practice movements such as fingering, properly holding a bow, and shifting. The physical sensations of playing an instrument are sent from the nerves in the fingers, hands, and arms to be processed in the sensory cortex. Reading sheet music also exercises the occipital lobe, which controls vision. The temporal lobe processes sound as well as controls the emotional response to music. The brain isn't just affected while playing an instrument, however. Playing an instrument can produce long-term changes in the brain, such as improved coordination, memory, and learning processes. Since the brain doesn't fully develop until age 25 and develops rapidly during elementary school years, having the neurological crossfit that playing an instrument provides is especially beneficial to children. A study led by Dr. Nina Kraus of Northwestern University showed that after a year of music lessons, the reading scores of 9 and 10-year-olds increased or stayed the same, while their classmates who did not participate in the class dipped. These students also were better at processing sounds and languages and demonstrated improved neural functions such as concentration, memory, and focus. After just 15 months, these students also showed improvement in motor skills. After 2 years, the children showed significant improvement in speech processing and reading scores over children that did not participate in the music class and over children that participated in a listening-only music appreciation class. Traits instilled in music classes, such as discipline, perseverance, attention to detail, and appreciation of beauty, are sure to set a child up for success, both in school and in pretty much any other future endeavor. Unfortunately, the American education system doesn't recognize music, or the arts in general, to be a necessary tool for creating bright futures for America's youth. According to a survey conducted by the U.S. Department of Education during the 2009-2010 school year, 94% of elementary schools and 91% of secondary schools offered music classes. These numbers may sound promising, but they do not show the reality of the quality of these music classes. There is often a horribly large student-to-teacher ratio, with one music teacher for often 1,000 or more students. One music teacher often has to travel between multiple schools in a district, resulting in fewer classes being able to be offered. Elementary music specialists across the country surveyed a sample of schools and found support for music inadequate in funding, facilities, materials, classes offered, and the number of teachers available in almost all of the schools examined. When you take these factors, along with the schools that do not offer music at all, it is estimated that a staggering 2.1 million students are going without music education. Unfortunately, music is even less accessible outside of the public school system. If a child were to want to pick up an instrument, that would require, at the minimum, renting or purchasing an instrument and paying for a private teacher for lessons. The cost of private lessons varies based on the experience of the teacher and the location, but usually costs about $45 or more for a 1-hour lesson once a week. Renting an instrument can be extremely expensive based on the type of instrument. Small popular instruments such as violins can be rented for around $150 for a year, but if a student were to be interested in a larger instrument such as a bass or a tuba, that could cost as much as $500 or more a year. A student that would be interested in pursuing a career in music would have even more economic obstacles. For instance, the violin that I currently play costs about $3,000, and I spend around $300 or more a year on upkeep of the instrument. Enrollment in an intense year-round pre-college program and summer camps cost thousands of dollars a year, and unfortunately is becoming almost necessary in the highly competitive field of music. Although many low-income area music programs usually provide instruments for their students to use and have minimal, if any, enrollment fees, it can be difficult for these programs to take root in areas where music education is not prioritized. When people are not educated about the benefits of music and it costs so much, why should they seem it as a priority? Music is quickly slipping through our fingers and is becoming a commodity accessible only to the privileged. This is a crucial social justice issue that is being highly overlooked, especially when you consider the effects of music on children from underprivileged areas. Dr. Krause, the scientist that I mentioned earlier, collaborated with her studies with the Harmony Project, a music project that benefits the community of Los Angeles. Since 2008, the Harmony Project has reported that 93% of high school seniors that participated in their program went on to graduate college, despite 50% or higher dropout rate in their neighborhoods. Dr. Krause speaks of the importance of music education in low-income areas, quote, "While more affluent students do better in school than children from lower income backgrounds, we are finding that musical training can alter the nervous system to help offset this academic gap," unquote. Unfortunately, the presence of music in these schools has dropped. During the 1999 to 2000 school year, 100% of high poverty secondary schools had music programs. Today, that number has dropped down to just 81%. The lack of equal access to music education is setting children up to be unequal, right down to the development of their brains. This is not to say that there are not bright minds coming out of low-income areas, but these bright minds have to work a lot harder for things that the more privileged students get more easily. So music education can be used to lessen this achievement gap and make room for more underprivileged students to display their talents. I would like to take a moment to thank the Monroe County Youth Council for allowing me to speak on a topic that is very near and dear to my heart. I've had the opportunity in the past 2 years to be a helper teacher at the Fairview Violin Project, a study conducted by IU Jacobs School of Music to show the cognitive and social effects of early music education in children who wouldn't normally have access to music classes. The children that participate in this program attend Fairview Elementary School here in town, which is a Title I school, meaning that it receives federal funding to lessen the achievement gap between low-income and non-low-income students. This means that many of the students at the school come from backgrounds without much money and that are sometimes unstable. Coming from a very privileged background myself, I've learned a lot about how powerful music truly is from these students. No matter what may be happening in their home life, these students can come to class and create something beautiful, and their hard work be noticed and praised. Every child should have this opportunity, no matter who they are, where they live, or what amount of money their parents make. Music education is a vital tool for setting children up for success. We cannot let music slip through our fingers. We cannot let the next generation be subject to this inequality, and we must not continue to let this issue go ignored.